Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about credit cards and why you should keep at least a few credit cards clear, especially for the guys that are on the lower budgets, don't have a lot saved or whatever. It's good to have a couple credit cards that are empty for an emergency at a hospital or whatever. You know, if most hospitals will accept credit cards, and you want to make sure you call your credit card to make sure that they know you're out of the country, and that if a bill goes on and you want it paid, you know, right away. So it's good to have 2 to 3 credit cards and make sure that they're pretty far up there as far as having a good amount of credit on there, so that, and keep it empty. Don't ever use that over here. There's no reason for going into debt in the Philippines, let me tell you. And my feelings are that it's best not to even have credit cards if you don't have to, but sometimes they're a necessary evil, and by that I mean, if you don't have a large emergency fund, it's good to have at least that, because I know some of you guys are going to come over here and you're going to say, well, I can't have a $10,000 emergency fund. I can't have a $20 or $30 or $40 or $50,000 emergency fund, Steve. So I'm going to have $20,000 on my credit cards. Well, if you put $20,000 on your credit cards, you're going to be making some pretty, decent size payments, and that might put a dent in your budget later on, unless you're in the sweet spot budget, which we're not really talking about. If you're in the sweet spot budget, you should be able to have savings, because you should be able to put away some savings with that sweet spot budget. Unless you're going crazy, going places and traveling, the sweet spot budget is meant as a place to be safe, to be able to have health insurance, things like that. So if you have health insurance and you have decent health insurance, which if you're in the sweet spot budget, you should be able to have decent health insurance that will pay for almost everything over here. And if you're in the sweet spot budget, you should have some savings put aside so that you can cover medical bills and things like that. And don't forget your family, guys. You also have to have money for your family, your wife, your girlfriend, your kids or her kids if they get sick too. Because God forbid they get sick, guess who's going to be asked for money? It's going to be you. So be careful, guys. Make sure that you can handle whatever you have in your family. Make sure you understand that if you have kids or you take on kids, it's going to be your responsibility. It's not going to be the father's responsibility for those kids. It's going to be your responsibility pretty much. Especially if you marry that girl and she has a kid or two, make sure you can afford it. Make sure you have buy some low-cost insurance. There's a whole bunch of low-cost insurance things out there that you can buy from Pacific Cross and other insurance companies, especially for kids and things. And kids do get sick. I've seen a lot of kids around here. Some have gotten hit by cars, some have gotten serious illness or what have you, or they've gotten dengue. All types of things have happened. God forbid you get bit by a snake or what have you, or they fall, they break their leg, they get hit by a tricycle. We've seen that here. You have to make sure that you have all this stuff covered for the poor kid. It doesn't cost that much for kids. It's actually, insurance is really, really cheap for kids. You can get the select plan from Pacific Cross, so make sure you do something like that. But as far as having the credit cards here, make sure you get the lowest rate for your credit cards. Don't get these ones that are 21% or 25%. That you're paying something like that. See if your credit score's really up there, and you got good credit. By all means, get the lowest ones, the lowest interest rates that you can possibly get out there. That's what you want to find. You want to find these low interest credit cards out there, and they're easy to find. You can search on Google to find them, and then you just apply for them, and usually you'll get them, believe it or not. And get rid of all those high interest cards if you possibly can. But make sure you do most of this stuff before you leave. That's the thing. You want to make sure you get rid of this before you leave. But sometimes, guys, and I read this online a long time ago, and I actually tried this out when I was back in the U.S. I had a credit card, and it was really, really high interest. And I approached them. I talked to them on there, and I says, hey, listen, I'd like to get a better interest credit card, or have this one lowered. Is it possible to do that? The lady says, let me go check, sir. I'll be back with you in a minute. She goes, I don't know what she did. She comes back. She went from I think it was 19% or something like that, all the way down to 11, which is a pretty decent rate for a credit card, actually. And I was really, really happy with that. And that was a long time ago, but I remember that happening. And if you ask them, usually they'll do it if you're a good customer and you pay on time and your credit score is really decent. usually they'll help you out. So be aware of that, guys. Don't ever be afraid to ask your credit card company for a lower rate. It's always good to ask for that. Just because. It's number one, it's going to save you money, and number two, in an emergency, you're not going to get shafted with all those high interest rates. If you have to, God forbid, you go in the hospital and you pay $15,000 or $20,000 on top of your insurance or whatever, because your insurance only covers you for so much. In some cases, depending on what insurance you have. Pacific Cross has many, many different insurance plans. There's many other insurance plans out there, but Pacific Cross pays directly to the hospital in some cases on some of their plans. So make sure you look into that. We have a guy, Michael Onstad, Onstad. Michael is on Facebook. You can find him on there, and you can hit him up for insurance costs and insurance rates and things like that, and he'll help you with that. He's really, really good with what he does. He's also one of our group members. He takes care of us. I don't make a nickel off of this guy. I don't want to nickel off these people. A lot of people out there that we have business, our group has business dealings with, I tell them, because a lot of these people offer me like, hey Steve, do you want me to give you some money for helping us out so much? And it's like, no, take care of my people. Take care of people that are expats, and just keep that money, and just make sure when they have a problem or something that you take care of them. That's all I ask from these people. I think that's fair. A lot of these other vloggers out there that a lot of people think that they're out there to help expats. In reality, when they throw out lawyers' names, they throw out these agencies and stuff like that, they're getting kickbacks from these people. We do not get any kickbacks from any of these people at all. So just keep that in mind, guys, that if you're listening to these other vloggers out there, this channel here, if you notice, we don't have super chats. We don't have any of that stuff. We don't have Patreon. All I ask is for people to watch my ads. I'm not looking for any money from anybody. I don't look for kickbacks from these people. Some of these vloggers out there, they're getting a lot of money on top of the money that they're getting from AdSense, and people think that these people are actually, decent people out there. And I'm not hitting all vloggers out there, okay? Because there's a lot of good vloggers out there too. But I noticed that some of the ones that are really high up there, and I'm not going to mention their names, and some of them are Filipinas too, that are out there, and they're double dipping. They're making a lot of money off of these people that they're pushing on, expats out there. And some of these are older expats, and they don't understand the way things work over here. Pay attention to what you do. Ask them sometimes. Ask these people. Sometimes they won't tell you. Sometimes maybe they will, and you'll catch them in what they're doing. Because what they're doing is they're making money off these things. These consulting firms, these lawyers, these companies that they work with, insurance companies too. I don't make any money off any of these companies that I push, or any of these people that I push. Nothing at all. When I go up to Manila and stuff, and I keep telling people this over and over, when I go up to Manila with people, I don't charge a nickel. I just charge for the vehicle to pick me up, to bring me up to Manila, pick you up at your hotel, take you to the PRA, take you to the bank, and take you for your medical, and take you to eat, and then take you back to your hotel. That's all I ask, and you get me for free. I help you the whole time there and make sure everything goes smoothly, and it's kind of nice to have. So remember that, guys, when you're working with some of these channels, that make sure that they're upfront about things. And we were talking the other day, and I was thinking about this the other day. If somebody wanted to start a business over here, and you may want to think about this, you may want to start doing a business to help expats when they come in here. A lot of expats are willing to pay for that, and it's okay, as long as you're up front and you say, hey, listen, I'm going to charge you this, and this is how much I make off of it. And I think it's a really, really good business. Help people, pick them up at the airport. Some expats, they want somebody that they know picking them up at the airport. You pick them up at the airport. Maybe you take them to the PRA. Maybe you take them to get their, to get their license at the LTO up in Quezon City. These are services that I have noticed that nobody has actually, made a business out of, and it would be a great business up in Manila, because I see these people, and these people are willing to pay for it. We do it, basically for free. The driver makes the money. He gets like 3,500 pesos or whatever to do all that, but he has to pick us up, take us up there, because they usually want me so they can ask me questions and stuff, and questions about how their phones work and where's a good place to move. They ask me for other help and stuff, and we supply all that for free, while I'm up there. But it's a great service for somebody that has already lived in the Philippines already to start a business up in Manila, just helping expats. Because there's a lot of people that we don't help, that we don't service, because we just don't have the time. And there's a lot of people getting through the cracks that, some of them are falling a little bit, or they're having problems because they're older and they need this help to get into the country. I see a lot of people in their 70s, they do need help. But anyway, guys, I did want to touch on the credit card thing today. I think that's kind of important. It's very, very important to have credit cards. And I'm not telling people to, you should use your credit cards. I'm actually telling people you're better off not having your credit cards and have savings. Have the savings. If you're here and you're coming over here and you're on the sweet spot budget of between $2,000 to $3,000, you should be able to save a lot of money until you have a decent amount in there. An emergency savings amount, but you should have that before you come here. But I know a lot of people don't listen, and that's why I'm talking about the credit cards. God bless, guys. Take care. I hope you enjoyed today's show.